And I guess, now's the perfect time. You talked earlier about getting Do It All on that track, having that opening. How cool were you with him? I mean, Lords and Underground, that's major for Jersey and everything. And at the time, I was going back. I'm like, damn, he really was in like a whole, councilman at large campaign for Newark at that time. What was it? Were you like cool with him on that level to be like, yo?
That's the crazy thing about it. I had first met him. I think there was an event for Ras Baraka when he was first running. Mm-hmm. And it was like Hassan Salam was there, Last Poets was there. I met them, which was crazy. And it was pretty easy for me to meet Do It All because I just kept it 100. Like, I paid homage to him and let him know. Like, I think he knew who I was from hitting him online and stuff like that, but it was the first time I met him. Right. And then a year or two later, I went to his studio and I was building with him with my squad at the time, and we was just playing him music, and he was just, putting us up on game, being a mentor, letting us know what we needed to know and putting the right things in our head. But after that, I think the next thing we really came together with was the Five Flower Town record. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was weird because it's like being a spiritual person, I pay attention to the signs. And I feel like being a creative person, you always need to try things. You need to be open to things. Mm-hmm. It's funny how little things turn into big things. So at the time, I was talking to this guy, Ice Rocks, who's a producer from New York. Mm-hmm. And he told me, yo, always pay attention to like who you meet on your journey. Check in with them, see what's going on with them. And at the same time, while you're doing that, you never know if they might have an opportunity for you. You never know what's around the corner. 100%. The first person I hit was Du. And, like anybody will tell you, though, at the same time, like some people will see these tactics and try to use them and manipulate the situation. But it's like, if you into spirituality, like it has to be genuine. Shit don't work like that. You might get a little far being fake, but even with you having a kind of like strategy in mind, it's still being open to the universe of whatever happens, but let me see if I hit this person if something happens. Right. And it's just weird how that happened like that, because next thing I know, while he's telling me he's running for councilman, I guess maybe he felt like I was showing so much love and always showed so much love that maybe he could do something for me. So he let me know, like, if you got an open verse on your project, let me know and I'll jump on. My shit was already being mixed. I just happened to have an open verse. And I was like, listening to the song, trying to rush and give him an answer, and I'm like, yo, he would sound dope on this. And things like that are just beyond me. That's out of my control. That's a divine spirit. That's a higher power, because I didn't know that shit was gonna happen. I had no clue. And next thing I know, he's calling me like, yo, what you think? And I'm like, bro, you did great. You killed it. Like, it's good, bro. I'm signing off on that. And I just let him know, like, look, I was naming even like obscure features that he did, but that were just so Jersey and relevant to me growing up. Like the Kilogram Jersey remix, he killed that. Yeah. He had a song with the Advocate where Mad People was on it, Big Lou was on it too, and he's talking about Newark and he's talking about Jersey shit. And I was like, I want that, but give it to me in a way that is relevant to you now, because obviously, he was rapping about working with City Hall and doing things in the community, which was beautiful. I felt like it was important for me on Release Party. And if you look at my projects, there's always like an OG on one of the songs to kind of give that cosign. And I felt like I really needed that stamp to be like, okay, everything that this kid's doing is fire, but on top of that, he has a legend, a OG, and a community activist on his song saying, yo, this kid is valid, and we made a great song together. And shout out to Sonny, who sang the hook, and Valana Denise that did some of the ad-libs on there. I really feel like that was the grand finale that Release Party needed.
Yeah, it feels like a party. I think that, I think what you said about the fact that he was the type of person who, he is an OG, he is doing things in the community, because it speaks a lot to what you do as an artist in terms of, you coming from, this area, being in Patterson, wherever the hodgepodge where you represent, people don't normally hear that, like, everyday struggle, that the problems everybody has coming across that way. So it's definitely like it's a cosign, but I think it's also just like a it puts it, like I said, it puts a stamp on your movement and how you've been operating, especially, you know, in your changes now.